For the entirety of my life, I've been stuck in hell. Well, to be a little bit more specific, I've been stuck in hell's feedback loop. Our culture is a culture of unrealistic expectations and competitions. They always tell us be better, be smarter, be happier, be richer, be more productive, and overall, just be perfect. No, be better than perfect. All of this incredibly helpful life advice, the positive, life changing advice, is really just fixating on the stuff you lack. It hones down on what you think your shortcomings are and then lasers your focus there. I mean, just think about it. How many times have you looked in the mirror and said, "You go, girl," or "I look so pretty today," or just any other positive affirmation? In your subconscious mind, it's just reinstating that you aren't pretty enough, smart enough, or rich enough. This can often lead to more insecurities than brutal honesty ever could. Back to the feedback loop. The feedback loop from hell affects everyone, no matter their age, gender, sex, or anything. Okay, so you may not be familiar with this term of it, but it looks a little bit like this. So you get anxious about an upcoming test or presentation. This anxiety cripples you a little bit, and you wonder why you're so anxious. Oh Lord, now you're becoming anxious about being anxious. Ugh, double anxious. Now you're anxious about being anxious about being anxious. This just feels horrible, doesn't it? Another example could be you may have a slight anger problems. So you get pissed at the smallest and insanely tiny stuff. So then you start to realize, why do I get angry? Great, you're angry about being angry about the small stuff. Then you realize this anger turns you into a mean and shallow person, so you start to get angry about being angry about being angry. Here, Wall, take my fist. These two examples are classic examples of you over worrying about doing the right thing and then you becoming worried about becoming worried. This is called spiraling to most, but the technical term is called the feedback loop from hell. Well, it's the term that I like the best. You may think you don't engage in it that much, but there's a high chance you actually may be engaging in it right now. You may be thinking, I'm such a loser for participating in the feedback loop from hell. I'm better than this. Um, Great. Now you're calling yourself a loser for thinking you're a loser. And this sort of spiral just keeps on going. So why do people do this? Well, first let's calm down a little bit. It happens to everyone, especially me. I've been going in this cycle all my life, especially last year. Last year, you could say I had anger problems, more like overreaction. The smallest thing would happen, like someone gives me a mean glare, and I would blow up. I would start thinking, do they hate me? Do they just not like me? And I would go down this loop of just eternal over worrying. This completely distracted me from everything. And quite honestly, it hurt me more than overworrying ever really did. Um, so you know about the feedback loop from hell now. So how the hell do you get out of it? Well, first let's redefine the problem. Our society today, even through the wonders of our regular consumer culture and the "my life is better than your life" social media stance, is has bred a whole new generation of people. This sort of I'm much better than you" social media can often lead you to feeling anxiety, guilt, fear, shame, anger, and social media says that's okay. But it isn't. And the worst part is when you feel down or bad about yourself, your natural instinct is to be surrounded by friends and people who you kind of look up to or admire. That can be found on social media in this new age. So, what happens when you open up social media? That's right, you're flooded by people having the time of their lives. Back to my original question, how the hell do I get out of hell's feedback loop? It's actually quite simple. You just don't care. Now, don't cut yourself off entirely from the world, but instead choose what the heck you want to care about. This technique might actually save the world because once people start using it, the false sense of hope is eradicated from their minds. They'll see the grimace of our world and will slowly start to build back to our future. By not caring as much about feeling bad or anxious, you cut the feedback loop of hell from hell into a million little pieces, acknowledge the truth about how shitty you may feel, and you move on. That's how to get out of hell's feedback loop. brutal honesty. Brutal honesty is the solution to hell's feedback loop. But you know what the real problem is? Happiness. So you heard me right. Happiness. Happiness is the real problem because let me give you a quick example. You might think to yourself, if I get this, then I'll be happy. If I pass this test, then I'll be smart. Let me stop you right there. If happiness isn't an equation, even if it is, it's not a simple one. Remember, dissatisfaction and unease will always be part of your life, especially in the equation to happiness. Okay, so you guys look a little confused, so let me try explaining it a different way. I'm going to explain it through a panda. That's right. As Mark Manson says, Disappointment Panda is the greatest superhero of our time. He is the giver of the harshest truths in life and the ones that you most desperately need to accept. He might say, give up. You'll never be a TikTok star. Oddly specific, but that's what happened to me. Last year, alongside my overreaction and anger problems, I was quite the bit of a TikTok star, you could say. Clutching with my 40 TikTok followers, I would make videos every single day, from dance to POVs to funny video, just anything. And the Disappointment Panda came to me through my brother. My brother sat me down one day and said, is this really what you want to do with your life? Blow up maybe once with 100 views and that's it? I thought real long and hard about that. I definitely did not. That's when I started exploring, and that's when I found you guys. Well, the TKS community. The minute I found that, I've said this before, I've done a full 180 in my life. I deleted TikTok. Everything that I thought would make me a star was pretty much gone. Of course, the truths of how could I not be famous? Who would crush a 12-year-old's dreams? And all of those were just my subconscious trying to get me to cling on to TikTok for a little bit longer. And remember, the harshest truths are the ones that are the hardest to hear, but most needed for you to hear. Disappointment Panda is like the provider of vegetables on an ice cream diet. It's sour and bitter to take if you even decide to take it, but the outcomes are so much greater than ice cream and TikTok may provide you. Disappointment Panda doesn't magically solve all your problems, though. It helps you solve your current problems. Everyone has problems. Some just aren't as bad. For example, Elon Musk has money problems, but so does everyone under the poverty line has them too. Musk just has better money problems. In our equation of happiness, considering that we have one, the only constant that's ever there is problems. As you keep solving new problems will arise constantly. Problems never stop. They only get exchanged, upgraded, or downgraded. Whatever your problems are, the concept is essentially the same. Solve problems, be happy. However, there are two major roadblocks in this oh so very simple equation. These roadblocks aren't physical, but instead they're mental. Denial and victim mentality are two horrible blockages in getting rid of your problems. No matter the equation, there will always be problems and there will always be some form of happiness in your life. Choosing your keys is the biggest struggle to finding happiness. If you choose to dedicate your attention and time towards a relationship, so be it. Your test grades may go a little lower, but that's what you choose. Choice in this matter is the biggest key. You have to choose not to play the victim or stay in denial. Choose happiness in your life. Choose whatever the hell you want. Just don't back down from this challenge. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Samson, organizer of TKS Community Talks. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to check out our channel for more insightful and inspiring talks from a community of young people training to change the world.